Oh, well, everybody, g'day again. This time I'm going to try and be quite brief, and I'm actually intending to provide a link that covers the subject I'm about to discuss in more detail. But the first thing, well, I'm sure anyone who's a Christian who views this would question me, and an even atheist would question me, because on the following lines. They'd say, oh, you say there are a series of alien races that are reported over many years. Plenty of people have said they've had a situation where they've been abducted, or they've seen people go on the ground and get into a craft and fly away, and all that sort of stuff, right? You'd say, what evidence have you got of this? Well, I'd say, as I outlined in much more detail on another link that I've got here, another video I put up, there are three streams of evidence, quite separate streams of evidence in this. And one is, well, the multiple millions of sightings of craft, and I don't mean lights in the sky that could be mistaken, and I don't mean things that could be experimental aircraft or secret developments by like military and so on. Some could be, definitely. Mistaken identity. I'm not talking about lights in the sky where a person might mistake something. They talk about from back in the 50s. The planet Venus, and all that kind of. We're not talking about it. We're talking about daytime, close observation of vehicles, and they are vehicles, and a lot of this can be researched and shown to be true. Now that's one. Now some people, or most I perhaps would say, oh no, there's no real evidence, that's not enough, Never mind that Westall High School incident in 1966 in Australia, where hundreds of students and teachers saw two craft hovering above the ground, silver discs in the broad daylight, I guess 2:30 in the afternoon, and flying away at super high speed at 45-degree angle up into the clouds and away. Never mind that, never mind the fact that many other similar types of sightings have occurred for many years around the world. They just would say, no, it's not enough. All right, look into Sumerian history and look up the Anunnaki and find out that these, they're just called from the stars to Earth. These people came to Earth thousands of years ago and gave the Sumerians the world's first written language, plus highly complex, detailed, shall we say, mathematics and astronomy, to the point where they made a carving of our solar system showing the various planets in orbit around the sun, thousands of years before telescopes were invented, for example. Now that's a sort of evidence you just can't deny. You can go and visit these places, look at it. I don't think they'll let you touch it, but you can look at it, and you've got to say, well, I don't know how that came about. That's Sumerian history. So I'm mentioning these things deliberately, that you look up Sumerian history. The third stream of evidence is called remote viewing. It used to be known as ESP. I've read books on all these subjects, by the way, and they are 100% sure that some people, and by the way, many have the ability, if they work on it, to understand it, can be totally accurate with what they see, and they can see the past, would you believe, the future and the present time, and they can describe and do drawings of various buildings and objects and things that they're sent out to. In their mind, in other words, they go into a trance and they go and see it. Now, there's a lot of evidence in that area, and it links into the very subject that we're talking about right now. So I believe, I'm a Christian, but I do believe that God filled his universe with life. I believe there'd be millions of planets with life on them. And I have, through my research and over the years, I've been convinced that numerous species have interacted with Earth for a very, very long time. Now, if you do your research, you'll find that I'm right. But what that demonstrates is, and evolutionists, as I say, believe one in a billion. So we'd have three, maybe three evolved, I want to use that term, civilizations, intelligent beings throughout the universe, which is nonsense. We know a number of species that I've been talking about exist. So that counts that theory out, in other words, and it leaves you with creation, that God did create huge numbers of planets with life on them, but we are not alone by any stretch of the imagination. And unfortunately, some of my friends, who I'm not going to name now, live in this world of there's heaven, there's earth, and God, and angels, and human beings, etc. And the rest of the universe is empty. Well, sorry to have to tell you, that's not the case. Now, what I do expect is a revelation, let's say, on this, an admission that there's been cover-ups and lies for more than 60 odd years. And look up things like the Roswell crash and other things. There are many things to look at. But I'll just leave you with it, but I'm going to provide a link to my discussion on a proof of aliens. So if you're interested in any further looking at that, well, please do. And I'd like any civil and polite discussion and questions and what have you on the subject, and I welcome that. So thank you for viewing.